That's hard to say. I mean, things were difficult, but as a child, I wouldn't know that. Things were hard. I was what you call a depression child. I was brought up during the Depression. We never went away. I knew there wasn't money around. My parents lost their jobs. Everybody lost their jobs. I remember that. And we had to go on welfare. And that we called it relief in those days. And I always went with my mother. But every week, you had your own day. I think our day was Saturday. We walked to the city hall where we had to get what they called a check, a small piece of paper, which said how much you could spend at the grocery store. You took it to the grocery store, and I always pulled a little wagon to bring our groceries home in. And I remember that well, going there, getting on the line, going up the stairs, and then to see the man you had to see to get your check. And I remember in particular, you had to give him the list, whatever you bought, the grocer wrote down what you bought, and you had to give that list to the man. Well, my mother one time, you couldn't have fruit or anything like that. My mother had bought a small box of raisins, and he put it on the list. And when the man saw the raisins on there, he started to scream at my mother. That's why I remember it. He frightened me. And he said, "What do you think this is?" He says, "You think you're entitled to everything?" My mother said it was only a tiny box of raisins. And I wanted to put, because my mother had to make her own bread at the time. She said, "I wanted to put the raisins in the bread as a treat for the children." He says, "You can't have treats for the children. This is a Depression." Now, he went on. And he threatened my mother if she ever did it again, she wouldn't get anything to buy food with for that week. So, of course, we never got any more raisins. My mother used to say she was going to lock the door, not answer it when there was a knock, because you never knew when you opened the door who'd be standing there with a suitcase. My mother's sister, who she came to this country with her, often would be without a place to stay, and she would come. And there was many a night that I'd go to bed, but when I woke up in the morning, I would not be in bed. I'd be on the sofa in the living room or something, because someone had come and needed a place to stay. In those days, you accepted whoever came, because you knew they were having hard times. So, to me, it wasn't any different than a normal life would be with others here. That was my life. But I was a child. Family kept us happy and entertained in our own way. And my father had many friends. They would come, play cards, anything to occupy them, because the men were not working. And this was one way of passing the time without getting into trouble. My cousin was a singer. He would sing and we'd all join him. I remember dancing around the kitchen table with my mother. That's where I learned, not that I dance well, but I learned to dance a bit while my cousin would sing and the others would sing. To me, it was a happy time, even though things were very difficult.